Hi, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Nora Brown, and I am here with our first episode from our third season of Nights with Nora. Guys, it has been a while, and I'm so happy to be back. I hope you guys can hear me okay. If y'all can hear me, say hello in the comments. I'm so excited. Every time I get ready to do this, y'all, I get so excited. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me and that I'm live. Give me just a second. I just want to make sure everything is good to go. How are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments how y'all doing tonight. And I'm so happy to be here. It's always a blessing and a pleasure to be able to do this stuff, y'all. So, anyway, give me a second here to go live to make sure all my events are public. If y'all can hear me, say hello in the comments. I feel like I ain't did this in forever. So even though I am not a novice by any means, you guys, um, I just want to make sure everybody can see me and hear me. Okay. All right. We in here. As you guys can see from the title, this is we are covering childhood trauma, the impact of childhood trauma, and how we will recover from childhood trauma. So, anyway, let me turn it. Awesome, awesome. I'm excited. I'm always so excited, like I said, to be here. So, if you're tuning in for the very first time, let me know where you're listening from. Let me know how you found my page, how you ran into Coach Nora, Girl Talk, how you got over here, and something that you want to gain from this episode tonight. What do you want to hear? What do you want to learn tonight as you are here with me on Girl Talk? So I'm so excited. I'm always excited to be able to speak and talk and help women while they're on their healing journeys. It's just a blessing to be able to be in this place. And as you guys know, if you guys have been following me for any time, you know that I recently graduated from Langston University and I have my graduation coming up soon here. I'm just so excited always to be a part of this community, and I'm happy for you guys to be a part of this community. Um, and while we're here, what I want you to do is like, and share this podcast. Share it out to anybody who you think will need it. Share it with a friend, a coworker, a family member, any woman in your life that you know who may be struggling on her healing journey or may need this podcast, or people that's just interested in understanding their past and what it can do for your future. Go ahead and share this out. I would love to see you guys do that tonight. And I'm going to just hop right into this. We are here for 1 hour today. We're here from 6 to 7 tonight. So I'm happy to do that. Um, let's see. Uh, if you guys get a chance, share that out, like I said. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this. I'm always, like I said, I'm always so excited to be able to do this. Let me see. Uh, let's do all destinations. All right. So we're live everywhere. Let me go on to my Facebook page. Just gotta make sure. All right, I'm gonna live here. I'm gonna jump right into this, y'all. I think. Give me just a second here. It's a busy day. Easter weekend is over, y'all, and I am not sad about it, okay? Not sad at all about Easter weekend finally being over with, y'all. So, if you are as busy as I always am as a mom, y'all understand that this is just the way it is. We always, always are so extremely busy. And so as moms, that's where we kind of land sometimes. So Y'all bear with me tonight as I get in here, and I hope to leave all of y'all with some important information, things that you can use, things that will help you on your healing journey. Okay. All right. I think I'm live. I think y'all can hear me. Hold on. Give me just a second. All right. All right. I think I'm live. I think y'all can hear me. All right, I'm gonna get right into this, y'all. So we're talking about trauma, childhood trauma. What is childhood trauma? And it can look like abuse, neglect, instability, and etc. Sometimes people deal with big T traumas and small T trauma. And it how it goes unrecognized. A lot of times things happen in our childhood that we just do not recognize, that we don't see the impact on it until a lot of times it may be too late. We may be well into our adult years and we may be experiencing things that we have side effects or residual effects from things that may have happened to us in our childhood. People pleasing or perfection, fear of abandonment or conflict, emotional dysregulation, anxiety, depression, trouble trusting each others or forming secure attachments, overreacting or procrastinating as coping mechanisms. All of those things can show up in your life, can stem from trauma. Okay. And I know sometimes a lot of people think about trauma and they think about big traumatic things, but it's not always big traumatic things that cause trauma. It can be small things that turn into big things that can cause trauma for you in your life. And so I want all of that to be acknowledged as we go down this road and we start really discussing trauma, okay? Because it can look like what I said, it can become people pleasing, perfectionism, fear of abandonment, or conflict. And I know personally, I dealt a lot with the people pleasing. People pleasing is a big, big thing, and y'all can see my baby's school picture behind me. This is my office, y'all. I'm at my home office today. But I know sometimes when I think about that, I struggle a lot with people pleasing, fear of abandonment, fear of getting into conflicts and breaking friendships, even when they're bad for me, when I'm in a poor relationship that is not beneficial to me. And I end up in fear of letting that thing go. Overachieving or procrastinating as a coping mechanism, definitely something that I ran into. Um, there are so many moments when I realized that I needed to start healing from my childhood trauma. I grew up in a family, and I've shared this story on multiple platforms. Um, of where my healing journey started. I grew up in a family of 12 siblings. My father was a alcoholic. He was in a addiction for my entire life. My parents were married for 20 years, and when I was born into this family of domestic violence. So I had a lot of pain from growing up in a family that was littered with domestic violence, littered with pain. And so it took many, many, many years for me to be able to recover from all of that pain. It took a lot of years of recovery to understand that it wasn't my fault, that I was born into what I was experiencing, and that even if I had an opportunity to get out, I didn't really have a lot of direction. And so I started to journal. I journaled a lot in my childhood. I journaled day and night about the things that I was experiencing, the things that I was seeing, the things that were causing me so much pain in my life. I began to journal about those things because I just couldn't express to anyone right there in my life what I was experiencing. Um, those journals one day I think will turn into my memoirs because they are my experience as a child that is growing up in a household with a abusive parent and one parent that is also being abused that had become a victim just like me. And so that's what kind of started my healing journey as a kid. And as I grew up and got older, I wanted to recover. And I started taking psychology classes and really thinking about the art of, and then I heard about the term mental health. And I realized I had poor mental health from the trauma I had endured throughout my life. And I needed to do something about the trauma that I was experiencing in my life. And so, that began that really made me realize that I was in a traumatic situation and I needed to do something that I wasn't experiencing a normal childhood. And so I went through a lot of things with my father as an abuser. He did many, many things as an abuser, And one of the things that stood out to me the most is that one day when we were in the fifth grade, well, when I was in the fifth grade, my father tried to set me and my siblings on fire. Yes, the craziest story. I've told that to a couple of times on my different platforms about how my father tried to set me and my siblings on fire, which at the time I knew it was crazy and I knew it was not a normal experience. But as an adult, I didn't realize the residual effect that those moments would have on me. And so as I went through my healing journey, it began to start trying to form some type of sense out of the shambles that my childhood left my life in. I began to find therapy. I began to find journaling and self reflection and prayer and really God. It kind of formed my relationship with God. It forced me into a relationship with God in order to build myself back up to be the person that I am today. I realize like how fortunate I am right now to be in a position that I am right now, even with all the pain that I went through in my childhood. I understand how lucky I am and how fortunate I am to have a sound mind. I remember my mom, she used to pray and she was like, I prayed, I thank God for a sound mind. And it is something to have good mental health, to be solid in your mind, to have everything in your mind operating in the way that it needs to operate. And I realize that people who struggle with depression, anxiety, ADHD, any type of mental dysregulation, that they do not have that sound mind. So it is a gift, it is a blessing to wake up every day and to have a sound mind, especially when you've been through trauma, especially when you've had the world on your shoulders and the weight of the world on your shoulders. My trauma was domestic violence, but it can run the gamut. If you've ever dealt with suicide or seeing someone unalive, if you've ever dealt with abuse from a spouse, if you've ever dealt with grief, if you've lost a loved one or somebody around you is no longer here, that is all traumatic for you. Trauma can look different in every individual. So, whatever your trauma was in your childhood, if you don't nip it in the bud as a child, it will follow you into your adulthood. So, when I think about all those traumas that I endured and how I was able to overcome them, it's definitely a blessing. Naming it is the first step. I remember when I heard this thing and it talked about the first step to solving a problem is to admit that you have one. A lot of us, or some of us, may not be able to even admit that we went through trauma, that something even happened, that something is even broken within our life or within our spheres. And coming to terms with the fact that something was wrong in your childhood, that something happened to you, that something changed you or broke you in your childhood. You have to be willing to even admit. A lot of my clients or some of my clients go through what I call a regression, or what therapists or scientists call mental health therapists call regression, where they kind of or repression, where they repress the things that are happening to them in their past. They have things that have happened to them in the past, but they have repressed those memories or they have not allowed them in the surface. And so sometimes when you repress those memories or you put away those things that happened to you, you haven't even fully realized or comprehended the things that have happened to you in your childhood. And let's be clear. It's harmful to do that. You need to really open up and allow those things to take segue in your life for you to be able to heal those wounds and take away from those things that have happened to you. My headphones are on, y'all. So I try to and when I think about that, I think that's exactly what I was doing in my journals is that when I was reflecting, is was writing down and coming to terms with some of the things that I was experiencing right there in my childhood. You don't have to justify your pain or compare your trauma to anybody else. Your trauma is your trauma. It does not matter if it felt big or small or whatever happened to you in your childhood, whether it was a sexual molestation, whether it was experiencing suicidal thoughts or indentations, if you had a drug addicted parent, an alcohol addicted parent, if you had any of that stuff, if you suffered with a childhood disability, all of that equates to trauma. Okay, it could be something small too, like or maybe what we call a small t trauma when your parents were out at work all the time and you were abandoned. Childhood abandonment is real. Sometimes people call it growing up fast. No, you were abandoned, you were left. Sometimes our parents leave us to our own vices and they don't pay attention to us. They're busy trying to rule or run their own lives and they forget about the little people that they brought into this world. That's traumatic to not have your parents with you. It's traumatic to not be able to go to them with problems or issues that you're having in your life. All of that equals out to be traumatic for a child. So you have to think about the mind of a child and what they're experiencing as they're going through their trauma as life is happening to them. So all of that can turn out to be trauma. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not losing any posts there. Um, Tools and strategies for healing through your trauma can be journaling, like I talked about earlier, boundaries, learning how to say no, and honoring your own needs, self compassion and affirmation, reparenting your inner child. We talk a lot about that inner child and what that means when we lose that inner child. And I know sometimes whenever I'm even doing these podcasts and I'm talking to people, talking to my clients, or I'm talking to a sibling or friends, and we're going over some of the things that happened to them, it's like they're rehearing it for the first time as an adult. Because you have to remember you're a child. You don't have all the capacity and the parts of your brain have not developed to be able to handle some of the things that you went through. They just happened to you. You had no control back then when you were a kid, but you're an adult now. You're a grown person now. You're an adult. You have authority and power to take back the things that were stolen from you in your childhood. And that's the opportunity and that's the privilege of being an adult. Yeah, that happened to me when I was a kid, but I'm a grown person now. What can I do about the trauma and the things that happened to me as a child? What can I do right now in my adult life? Yes, my mom left me. Yes, that domestic violence may have happened. Yes, all those things may have took me down. But now I'm a grown person. What can I do and as an adult to help feed into healing from that pain that happened to me as a child? And I think about that too, even for myself. How did I take back my life? How did I get to where I am now? A lot of times growing up, in those traumatic situations where even poverty is a trauma. It's traumatic to not be able to pay your bills. It's traumatic to go home some days and flip on the lights and they don't work, to have to boil water because you don't have any hot water coming. Poverty is traumatic for a child to have to go through, to sometimes wish you can get you a popcorn or a pickle at school on Friday, or be able to go on a field trip that you cannot go on. All of that is traumatic. And you grow up not realizing how traumatic it was. And so as an adult, you try to figure out what can I do to heal. And my thing, or what I suggest or recommend to all the people that are in my network, is to go to therapy. Go to therapy. Prayer is great. As a Christian, as a believer, I know you need to go to church. I know you need to seek God. I know you need to pray and open up that Bible because God is always near. I recommend God to anybody. That's my first line of defense is prayer. It's the secret sauce. And then my second line of defense is therapy. Go get help. Enroll in something. If it's a group counseling, if it's one-on-one counseling, if it's a support group, I don't care what part of it is, get some help. Get you some professional help. It is okay to say my childhood was traumatic. I went through some things and I need some help. The first thing you need to do is to admit that you have a problem and that it's something that you cannot solve. It may be out of your scope. It may be out of your hands. You've done it all. You've tried to self medicate. You've tried to do so many things to help you get through, whether that be food, whether that be drugs, whether that be alcohol, sex. I don't know what things that you have used to try to get yourself through the pain that happened to you in your childhood. But what I'm recommending today is Jesus, God, and therapy. Okay? I know that people in our culture may have looked down, and there are a lot of stigmatisms against therapy and getting help and going to seek counseling. But I want to encourage you guys today that it is okay to seek help and go and see a licensed professional about the issues that you may be having within your mind and that are sitting on your heart, that it is completely normal to go to therapy, that there is nothing wrong with going to a support group. There is nothing wrong with hiring a coach to help you through a traumatic situation, that is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength to say that this happened to me when I was a child. I don't know why this happened to me. I was born into this family. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I asked for. And it's hard and it's heavy and I'm looking for someone who can help me. And if you landed on this podcast today at a mistake, or you just see me scrolling through your news feed and you never seen this woman a day in your life, I want to tell you that there is hope. There is hope for the situation that you're in. There is a remedy for what you may be experiencing. You may think that you've messed up and it's nothing else I can do about my situation. That I've tried it all, I've smoked it all, I've drunk it all, I've read every book, I've looked into everything that I could. I am at my wits' end. I want to encourage you to try one more time, to give this thing another opportunity, to seek help one more time. That this just might be the breakthrough that you've been waiting for. This may be confirmation that you are not too messed up, that you are absolutely enough, that you can do the hard things that you need to do to become a healed and whole person. So I'm here today as your cheerleader. I want to cheer you on. I want to tell you that life has more in it, that there's more in the tank for you, that God has more on the other side of this than you may have known, and that there is goodness here. That there is goodness in laying down the hard things in your life that you can't handle. Sometimes when we go through childhood traumas and life throws us all kind of curveballs and that you keep coming up with lemons, that and sometimes I laugh about my life because it has literally, y'all, been so traumatic. The reason why I entered to the mental health field and become a mental health professional, and I do these radio shows, and I'm on these podcasts and doing interviews and making content, and I build out this organization called Girl Talk Inc. is because myself, I'm a living testimony of the trauma that a person has been drugged through. I lost both of my parents. I don't have any parents. I roam this earth alone most days. I feel very isolated and lonely a lot of days of my life because I don't have parents. But I do have siblings and I have people that love me, and I've managed to recover from the loss and the grief of my parents. And I have tears in my eyes. It brings tears to my eyes when I think about the life that I live now compared to what I've been through. Because I want to tell y'all, I do not look like what I've been through. It's been poverty. It has been childhood abuse. It has been grief. I've been through all of that. I've had all of that happen in my life. If you name it, I've probably been through it. Infidelity, you know, all of that, step parenting. I've had the gamut, okay? I've had all of that happen to me throughout my life, and I'm recovering. And I wanted to bring the message of healing and recovery to you guys because you guys need to hear it. You need a real person who's had real problems, real issues to come and tell you that there is hope. That if you give yourself a chance, if you're willing to do the work, that I am willing to work with you. And nobody paid me. Nobody did anything. This is just a passion of mine that I absolutely love to see women healed. I love to see women recover. I love to see people get healed. I love a good Cinderella story. I like when life was hard and it beat you down, and then somehow, miraculously, with the power of God and the work and doing the healing work, that you were able to recover, to become a multimillionaire, to become a lawyer, to become a doctor, to get your kids back if they're not with you anymore, to get over or to recover from the grief, to not be suicidal, to have something to live for, to own a home, to get into an apartment, to rent a home, to repair your credit. I don't know what you are battling. I don't know what has you in a chokehold. I have no idea. But what I do know, that there is hope, that there is recovery, that there is change just around the corner. If you are willing to do the work, if you are willing to admit to who you are right now and to do the inventory, to reflect, to do the journaling, to show up to the classes, to be present, to be a willing participant in your healing, I want you to know that there is hope for you, that it is not too late. You have not blew it, that you are absolutely enough, that God favors you, He loves you, and He has purpose and a plan for your life. But you got to be willing to do the work. You got to show up. You got to start showing up for yourself. I know that what happened to you in your childhood was traumatic. I know that the things in your mind may have you bogged down, but there is freedom for you. There is hope for you. There is love for you on the other side if you are willing to do the work. If you are willing to lay down that pain. I know it's comfortable and you've been holding on to it like a badge of honor, but it is okay to let it go. You've held it long enough. It's broke your back long enough. That childhood pain, that molestation, that rape, that teen pregnancy, that secret has held you captive long enough. Sis, it's time to let it go. It's time to give it up. Your reputation, all of that, that person that you used to be, you do not have to be her anymore. It's time to rewrite your story. It's time to renew your faith, to renew your strength. Your family needs you. Your children may need you. Your spouse may need you. And most importantly, you need you. You are done taking up that small percentage of your life. It's time to take up more of your space. It's time to step into who you truly have been all along. The childhood trauma thought it had you, but it doesn't hold you anymore. Your dad may not have been there. Your mom might not have been there. People may have done whatever they wanted to you or said whatever they want to, but that was in the past. That childhood trauma is in the past. You are safe now. You are here now. You are an adult now. You have permission to heal. If nobody has told you or you haven't given yourself permission, I want you to take a breath, close your eyes, and breathe in. And give yourself permission to heal. Give yourself permission in this moment to heal from those childhood wounds. Whoever hurt you, whoever did that to you, whatever situation got you to where you are right now, trusting people that don't need to be trusted, people pleasing, becoming a perfectionist, if it led you to an addiction, wherever that pain led you, it doesn't have to stay. You have an opportunity to let it go. And I think that's what I wanted to tell y'all. That your childhood wounds, they don't own you and they don't hold you. You have permission to heal. You have permission to be the God-fearing woman, the strong, powerful woman that you were always meant to be. Who were you before the pain? Who were you before that trauma? That's the heart that I want you to start working to get back to. That's the person that I want you to start digging out. That pain doesn't own you and it will not hold you. You are free. And I know I am 32 minutes in, but I just want to tell you guys a little bit about how you guys can stay connected to me because I really want you to stay connected. And I know I don't have a million people on this call. I know I don't even have 20 people on this call. But if you can hear my voice, I think you were meant to be here. And if you see this on a YouTube or on a rebroadcast somewhere on a TikTok or however you run into me, I want you to know that you are blessed and you are highly favored. And when you look around and you feel that wind and you think somebody's behind you and they running up on you, or you suspicious that something may be lurking in the background, I want you to know what that is. That is goodness and mercy and grace chasing you down. It is going to be following you for all the days of your life. Goodness, mercy, and favor will be following you all the days of your life. That's what it is. That's what's chasing you. That's what's lurking. That's what's behind you. That's that noise you keep hearing. That is goodness and mercy following you, chasing you all the days of your life. It may not have been in your childhood, but it's going to be in your adulthood. It's going to be right next to you for the rest of your life. Goodness and mercy and grace chasing you down for the rest of your life. Would you believe that? I'm going to stand with you in an agreement that those things will be chasing you down and following you for the rest of your life. Yeah, it started off hard, and it may be hard right now, but it won't be hard always. It's not forever gonna always be hard. It's gonna get easier. It's gonna get better for you, and life will be okay. It may not feel like it, it may not seem like it, but I want to challenge you to do the work. I am a living witness. I am a testimony that if you do the work, that life for you can change. Every time I go in my living room and in my refrigerator, I get excited because I grew up without a refrigerator at some points in my life. I moved around a lot. I did a lot of different things. I lived a million lives and in a lot of different apartment complexes and homeless shelters and domestic violence shelters and I've been in a lot of different places. But I never been stable. But now I'm stable. I'm loved. I feel peace. And all of those things is something that money can't buy. What I teach on my platform, what I teach through my groups and my classes, and in my sphere, my corner of the internet, is peace. Peace that surpasses all understanding. I talk about grace, love, harmony, sound mental health, balance, and boundaries, things that money can't buy. Okay? When you come over here, you're going to learn about self care and how to treat yourself, self compassion, and acceptance. Accepting that my childhood was hard and it was brutal, but that doesn't have to be in my adulthood, was a lesson that money could not buy. So if you're here and you landed here on this Nights with Nora podcast with Coach Nora and Girl Talk Inc., you are blessed. And I hope that something I said to you tonight has been a blessing. And remember, when you feel that wind whipping around you and you're walking down the street or you're getting out of your car and you feel like somebody's chasing you or looking at you or spying on you, it's not a hater. It's not anybody doing anything to you. That is goodness and mercy and blessings chasing you down in the street. They will be following you all the days of your life because you got goodness and mercy following you, chasing you down in the streets. Recovery is yours if you do the work to heal that inner child. You will see an awakening and an opening in your mind and in your mental health and in your spiritual health that you have not seen. As a believer, as a lover of Christ and God, and as someone who is a strong advocate for mental health, I am credentialed, y'all. I have a license um, or a degree in mental health and counseling, rehabilitation counseling. I went to school, got my certificates. But the real school I went to is the school of the hard knocks, okay? The school of the homeless, the school of the abuse, the school of rejection and no compassion. And I've been through all that to come back and tell you that there is goodness, there is mercy. Just as much pain as I experienced, God gave me back double for my trouble. I've received double that in mercy and goodness and compassion and love. And I know that currency is also coming, monetary currency. God takes care of me in every aspect of my life. So once you get your mental health together and you get your mind right, all of those things will begin to fall in line. Anyway, I love y'all and I hope y'all enjoyed this. And I want y'all to like this video, share this video, join my community, Girl Talk Inc. Get on my website and subscribe. It is at Girl Talk Inc.info. If you go there, I offer classes, one-on-one sessions. I want to be your coach. I would love to be your coach. I would love to help you through this journey that you're on, this healing journey that you are on. Book a session with me. I offer the mental health sessions. I offer the one-on-one sessions, the group sessions. You can join my group, like I said, follow my page. Just hit that follow button and follow me. I would love to have you in my community. I want to uplift you. And even if you're in a position where you just want a consultation or you can't afford the classes, join my group. But if you can, I want to encourage you to take a class with me. Do a one-on-one session. I want to talk to you. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear about your pain. I want to be your mentor. I want to help guide you from one place in your life to the next. And I'm not asking you to put all your eggs in one basket. But if you do start putting eggs in a basket, I encourage you to put them in this basket. It is going to be the best investment that you have ever made is when you begin to invest in your mental and spiritual health because your mental health is your wealth. Once you get your mind right, everything around you is going to begin to turn. Everything around you is going to begin to change. Everything in your life is going to begin to change. When you realize that you are the captain of your ship, there is nowhere that you can't go. And remember, if you don't remember nothing else I said, when you hear that wind behind you, when you hear something moving around in the background, or if you're getting suspicious, you think somebody's following you, remember that is goodness and mercy chasing you down all the days of your life. All right. I love y'all and I'll see y'all next week. I'll be on another podcast later on this week. Hope you guys tune in and support me there as well. Remember to follow my channel, follow my Facebook page, join my Girl Talk Inc. group, and subscribe on my website. You can do all of that stuff or one of those things, but make sure you stay blessed. I love y'all. Have a good night.